Your Excellencies, UN Secretary General, President of the General Assembly, Executive Director of UN Women, and distinguished guests. Today, I am standing here to specifically address the Stay and Deliver campaign for Afghanistan women's and girls' rights and well-being, for them to be heard, for their matters to be witnessed, and for their fight to stand their voice despite them having to risk their lives to not be taken into granted. We need your utmost help. Over the past few years, Afghanistan has experienced a dramatic rise in violence and discrimination against women and girls. Women and girls are living in fear. Discrimination against women and girls in Afghanistan started 20 years ever since the Taliban took power in 1996. They practice a leadership style within the male-dominated society that was thick with patriarchal culture and represent discriminations and violence against women and girls. They bring out their own ideas of extreme Islam ideology that they interpreted into brutal governance dynamics to easily wield weapons for military enforcement purposes. They chase their dreams to create a nation where Sharia law is must obligated, where in reality, these actions leads to women and girls being the victim of erosion of respect for human rights and further lead the country into a humanitarian crisis. It all happened not just in the blink of an eye, as they have gradually, over the years, become very restrictive and conservative, stripping them from the freedom of choice and to live in prosperity. The leadership have said that people's rights will be protected in accordance with Islamic law. But what we've seen on the ground are protests and bombings. And now, people are in fact struggling. We need to ensure that international community is able to see what is happening to the girls and women in this country. The Taliban rules prohibit women from doing their jobs. Access to education has been widely restricted. Teenage girls haven't been allowed to go to school. Freedom of movement and women's full participations in publics has been limited. to the point where they are forced to stay and only leave home in cases of necessity, to the point where they are forced to put on certain clothes. They are forced to cover their faces, their voices, and even their identity. There is no trust, and Afghan girls and women are living in fear. Their lives is at stake. There are still so many questions about Afghanistan's future. But the most important questions here is, as a global citizen and as part of the international society, what can we do now? With an eye toward achieving equal rights and opportunities for all, and building society where men and women are seen as equal, advocacy efforts are very much needed, and it required everyone involved. It required all actors to assist and paved the way for Afghan women and girls who fight and sacrifice so much for equality, justice, liberty, fundamental human rights, their fundamental freedom to be able to thrive and restored. And that is what Stay and Deliver campaign is trying to address. Because they need our support now more than ever. Sheryl Sandberg said, "We cannot change what we are not aware of. And once we are aware, we cannot help but change." So I'm inviting you to step forward and to be present to the best of your abilities, to stand firmly with the women and girls in Afghanistan. This is not trivial. This is priority. Thank you very, very much.